Prepare for battle.
Your future is grim.
We're still stunned from the Earthshaker and the Morph combo of the previous game. Didn't move. I would say TnC. I would say they don't have enough control for the Storm Spirit, but yeah, pure damage again. Tidehunter. All they need.
30 seconds to battle.
Didn't have enough time to think. My brain was fried after that game. So I'm going to go TnC too. Like, you know, Matt, getting here ready with game 2. I want to see if Boom can come out with some positive mental attitude. I mean, that one was
The battle begins.
quite the discouraging game. Quite a way to have that one end, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think they might be done. You know, we'll see how it goes if the lane stage doesn't go too well, because we talk so much about how this DPC league forgiving. Just throw the games. It will backfire. Right now, both of these pretty big deal who wins.
Yeah, big one indeed. Both these teams also having wins over opponents. If you're Boom, or you're a player on Boom, you just went through such a big defeat
I quit.
like that.
I quit until this is fixed. Like I come back after the patch.
And it was definitely a quick ban immediately on Ursa.
Surprised TnC did not ban it, because it's definitely Goto's best hero. Let's see how he can do against Carmel's OT. No point in Astral Imprisonment yet. Starts to harass him with his Orb instead. Some happened before, and then he can control. Get that Meteor Mirror online. Once you buy Magic Wand and don't care too much harassment.
With that too, you know, having the Astral Imprisonment and everything, having that timing down, maybe getting that quick Meteor Hammer, you also have the opportunity with Tim's to come over and arrow. So yeah, you give him a Kodo his Storm, but do you have enough tools here? Maybe if Tim's rotates in and gets a couple early kills on the Storm to shut his game out.
It's a possibility. Yeah, with the arrow, it's a strong, easy to execute combination. Most of the time it works if done correctly. All you need to care about is not leave your Beastmaster alone if he's like off HP. Leave him when he's vulnerable. You know, say trouble, but that's gonna be some harassment. Boar plus an arrow. Arrow flies. Just hit pretty good.
Just getting something out of this, and now Boundless Strike into the Impale. Kezcute still trying to get the kill on a Tim's. Pop that Fairy Fire. Be okay. There's the Astral Imprisonment. This is going to mess with Mikoto a little bit. He's only 9-1 right now. He's 8-3, so ahead for the moment. I wonder when they're going to bring somebody over to maybe try and help out this OD. Gabbi as well as Bebby trying to fight, trying to get First Blood. Anchor Smash, First Blood there for FBZ. And there is a return kill for Bebby.
But that's pretty big. You know, this Tidehunter was already having a really good time. Shaman doing a very good job just trading hits. He's playing Shaman into melee heroes, so there's a ton of harassment. The Shaman got buffed. Starting intelligence, which more often. And now Tidehunter is level 3. This lane's not gonna be that deep for Ursa. On paper, it sounds good, you know.
Radiant's middle tower is
There
under attack.
wipes, but there's a ton of harassment.
Dire's
And
structures
FBZ, he
are
already has that
fortified.
bottle, something that quite often, where offlaners just have to pick up bottle, you have to refill it.
Do you think maybe with a little bit more, a couple more levels for both the Tusk and the Ursa, that might get a little bit better for them because they can play aggressive like this on high.
If Shaman is out of position, it's a kill. So Shaman needs to play around the Tidehunter, but close to him. So Gosh.
Leaping away. Some sticks. There's FBZ. We saw him have a good game on that Bloodseeker. It wasn't, wasn't a bad one by any means to start. Obviously, it ends up in a loss, but I thought he played pretty well. Haste Rune picked up by the Nyx Assassin. Onto the high ground, but Shards locking that FBZ. Bebby, get this kill with Gabbi and one more shot. They'll finally get the revenge over this Tide, and well, that looks really good in this top lane for TnC. A lot of harassment onto Makoto. Armel committing under the tower, but there is a haste on this Nyx Assassin. You need to be a little bit careful, not that Makoto goes back in.
Okay, so they are kind of getting back into this game with these rotations. Something that I don't like too, and Timber all is the tag team. It brings numbers, it so much damage. Overpower. It's only level 1, 3 attacks. And that with the tag team. Quite a lot. Something that we've seen, like Liquid does something similar. Wind Ranger with the tag team. Roshi.
Yeah. Something that TnC wasn't even really able to accomplish in the first game was it feels different with this lineup where they should have the skill to roll the pit, get an early Aegis.
Radiant are scanning.
I am worried about, I have talked about angry Makoto. You get Makoto angry, all of a sudden he just takes over the game as Storm. We've seen that in the series where he got game 2 and game 3 as Storm. Destroyed in both those games.
For most of the players, being angry is not good. For Makoto, it's kind of a buff.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Arrow hits. How angry
with the
he
Astral.
is. Can't get him with the hammer. Sanity's Eclipse hammer. OD has 2 hammers, like 2 of those.
I guess drops the mallet, drops the hammer. Kinds of things into. Forget that. So,
No, I'm just thinking about the game, B-Cop. I'm not ignoring you. I'm trying to see what happens in the bottom lane. My King trying to get some Jingu stacks on a Beastmaster, but the boards are level a lot slow. There's book 1 coming onto the Beastmaster. You want to give him level 6, so you can start making some pressure. He's level 5 now. So execute through. Let's see his map awareness. No.
Bottom with 2.
Like, you just go for an arrow. Try to land an arrow.
Right now wouldn't be the worst time to throw it. Boundless strike out.
Good.
Holding it.
No, they're trying. There it is. Tag team.
There it is
Drew
with the tag team
a lot of
Shards.
things.
Drew, nothing he could do in this situation. A good impale afterwards, but it's not going to matter. Snowball. Extending their lives. Arrow hits. It's onto this Nyx Assassin. They'll go after Bebby on the back lines, but Makoto, there's not much he can get done. He might even give up his own life for this.
He needs to be careful. Just 100 mana.
Yeah, they've
One
got
more
the vision
zip
with
is
the
all he
Hawk.
got.
I think
Bottle.
I still see him though.
Yeah, he's dead.
Shards are perfect. Makoto low. One more shot. That could be JP. Triple kill with a Beastmaster.
That's such a great rotation, but
Ooh, and the
top lane.
top of the Hex on the Meteor Hammer. Doesn't matter. They've got the Sanities. FBZ getting low. Boundless Strike keeps him to get the kill. Hide on the run. But Gabby's still with him. Astral Imprisonment should just do it. Seems like they've done the math, and they have.
So Drew TP to the top lane. Doesn't get anything out of that. Tree Dance is only level 2. He's level 6. Like Drew, when he's not having a good time at the early stage, he
Radiant's
just
bottom
feels
tower
lost.
is under attack.
Previous game, he had a good start. They didn't, play around his farm. So it's gonna be a different situation for this time. But KP, man, he's having such a different game. He has boots. Is that book 2? No, it's book 1. Would just be too much farm
Radiant
in this.
structures are fortified. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
He has as much form now as he had, I want to say, 15, 20 minutes into the last game.
He really struggled in the last one. Tidehunter also only level 5. So No Ravage yet available.
They might just go on him and roll with that Primal Roar. They do have Gabbi nearby. They can at least pressure the tower, but now they've got vision of both Makoto.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Off with you.
Dude, Makoto both spotted, so see the change in posture from...
Boom is trying to set up something on the bottom lane. Meteor Hammer done on OD, already dropped one on the tower. And you can see Tim is very close, just waiting to show up. Astral into Arrow. The keys, two heroes coming.
Top tower
Fails.
is under attack.
Arrow, that comes in, stops the shackle, but they get the impale from Kescute. Armel needs to run back as the Astral Imprisonment onto the Storm. That'll keep the kill onto the OG, but they use the Primal Roar bottom going after this Tidehunter. They've got the shards in front of him as well as the Snowball to lock him down even longer. Gabbi gets the kill on FBZ, nicely done by TnC.
He can't use the Ravage there. Ursa ready with the Enrage. You pop it, the stab kicks in, you still die, and then you're not gonna have Ravage in the next fight. Mid lane, Arrow into Hammer.
Oh wow.
He actually stops the Hammer.
Oh, would have had that kill on
Radiant's
high.
bottom tower has fallen.
Okay. He saw Nyx Assassin and was like, I'm not getting stunned. He got stunned anyway. Nyx Assassin is not as good against OD as it was before because Astral Imprisonment doesn't deal AoE damage anymore and you can't set
Radiant's
up the
middle tower is under
but
attack.
still good hero against you.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Meteor Hammer down on the tier 1 mid again. Really close to dying. Gabbi just finding space. He's 6th on the net worth, but it's all close between him and the other three at the top.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Looking into the Orchid,
Radiant's
when
middle
Makoto gets
tower
this
has
Orchid,
fallen.
the game can get a little bit tougher for these heroes on TnC. See how the movements are for Boom. The movements in game 1 were pretty crisp up to a certain point. So I wouldn't be too surprised if maybe Boom just...
Lost 2 towers, got 1. Still an E game, 1 gold lead. Moment. Dire's hiding in the trees. It's a tough one for them to, fight into. Shadow Shaman is still level 5, needs to find his level 6. Nyx Assassin, first vendetta, gets anything out of it, and DPC also. Very tough to play into Beastmaster. Your mana gets burned, mana pool very limited at this point.
Yeah. You just see Gabbi. Might even still look to go on FBZ. Near the tower, so it's a bit of a tough dive if they want to. KP now moving around.
Finds Jelly,
fall back
or the
on
memes.
farm.
There, eat Jelly.
Right out of the beehive.
What did he give the Jelly to? So D is like, I don't need my aura. I have a lot of regen coming up with the hammer.
Scaring?
Double damage.
I mean, if you consider B as a beast, Master takes it instead.
I forget what it's called. It's something. Double damage on
Or beast.
Bees Master. Plus bucks. So Febby drops down a sentry.
Shadows.
Dagger, he doesn't have a way to close the gap. They've got right Shadow. Maybe they can come back into this. They do have Beastmaster, as well as Ursa right there. Febby just has eyes on FBZ. We got a sentry down and right to the floor is punched, and then the tag team avoids the Ravage with the snowball. A little bit of style on that one. They go after high, they get the kill on the Shadow Shaman. Drew, yeah, like you said, jumping away, just careful enough. He thought about going too.
He doesn't have a point in ulti. Like that level 1 ulti, it's not as strong. It's more of a
Mid arrow, Makoto caught. He's gone. Astral Imprisonment with the Meteor Hammer. That is uncharacteristic to Makoto getting caught like that.
very tough for them. This is the first Ravage, first board use. They get nothing out of that. Now the map just gets smaller. Beastmaster will control the jungle with the Hawk, with his Necro Warriors. TnC's lineup doesn't rely on cooldown. So pretty much they can keep fighting all the time. Longest cooldown they have is Eclipse, but you don't need that to fight. Every single time Roar is up, they should go, and they should punish this long cooldown ability. Second.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
See Dagger just kind of invading the jungle, staying pressuring across the river, trying to push on this tier 2 tower for a while, and eventually KP the Beastmaster here with Gabbi. So they should be able to take this tower, or at least put some pressure on, maybe force a rotation. We'll see how it goes from
Radiant's
Boom.
bottom tower
doesn't
is
defend
under
tower.
attack.
They don't have the ability, already spread out of the map, trying to get some farm going. Go to 0-2-0. Something that we don't see in this player. Usually he's the one dictating the tempo on the Storm Spirit.
Dire's
Two
top
big
tower.
Shackle, Tide taking right clicks, holding Armel, but eventually Armel gets the finish. Yeah, going back to that as Kezcute also dies to Gabbi. If you think about where just getting an Orchid. Walrus Punch, all lightning away, but they still have vision with this Hawk. Dakota normally has that Orchid 2-3 minutes. This game is load pretty heavy.
The Orchid is done. They should try to make something happen. Shadow Shaman goes for the line. Same goes for the Tidehunter. Everyone's a bit under-leveled on side of Boom. They rely on Ravage to win the team fight. So try and go for the mid-tier 1 tower. There's a full HP tower. Play from Febby.
Away, get some stins FPZ. He's still a couple hundred gold away from this Blink. Might not get closer if they want to jump on him. Shard's pushing away, but FPZ thinks about walking back in. Meanwhile, Primal Roar used on Hyde. They get the jump and they'll slow FPZ, so that gives them time to get the Astro Precision over as Meteor Hammer still available. Eventually FPZ does die, maybe holding it to potentially go on Makoto if he were to show his face. You know, he went north here and walk even further away. A good ward placed by TnC, and it'll spot Kezcute coming over. Makoto, silence onto the OD, arrow coming in, that's not going to land on the storm. They've got the impale, Armel, whoa, and off.
But at what cost? I think they will have this straight through.
To the dice.
Faking his ulti. Kind of free Roshan for TnC. Ursa picks it up, goes into BKB next night, and once they get the BKBs on 2 cores, it's gonna be so much easier to take a fight. Beastmaster, I've seen Beastmasters. They're very popular in China, either BKB into Blink or Blink into BKB, which I really like here.
Shoot up the Blink right now, so Blink BKB, that's fine. I think I like that as well.
They don't have the best jump.
Yeah.
Unless OD like sets it up with the Astral, and right now OD needs to be careful. He doesn't have his BKB yet, so Blink Dagger. Fine.
There's the silence on Gabbi. They're gonna try and go on the Ursa. Got the ult, there's the Hex, the Orchid Burn, and now they've got the Aegis. So Febby, Shards, isn't enough. Snowball coming across, hitting Kezcute as well as the Shadow Shaman. Serpent Ward's committed. Drew still just being a spectator at the moment.
Missing bottom.
And they did get the Aegis, but still sitting on the high ground.
Radiant
TnC had to be
structures
careful while
are
in Moonlight
fortified.
Shadow, but this time Blink Dagger picked up by Tide. It's coming on the Storm. Starting to get some farm. He's starting to be aggressive like we're normally used to seeing with Makoto. Still behind this Beastmaster.
Tough game for him. You know, playing into, even if he gets that BKB, which he needs, you're going to be playing into Beastmaster Roar. Ursa will get a basher eventually.
Haste.
Creeps as well. Boars. towers. They're in on it.
Radiant's bottom tower
Pulls
is
the
under
board, then
attack.
Acro creeps away for a second, but here's the commitment. Now we'll see if anybody rotates as well. All 5 heroes are here for TnC bottom.
Taking out
Radiant's bottom tower
then
has
20-minute mark is pretty big. They can try to defend that. Put a ward, at least put a hawk, see if they try to reclaim it, get an easy pick off.
With this as that
Dire's
blink
top
dagger,
tower
but
is under
we yet to see
attack.
like smoke into a Ravage play or anything of the sort. Was used by KezQ, might catch this courier coming through the end. Things feel very slow from Boom. I understand they're behind, but it's definitely not their play style playing this league. Especially Makoto.
I guess they took the Aegis off Ursa and now are playing slowly mid lane.
Finding the OG, gonna get the kill, or did. Now the Ravage, Armel hit, and he's in trouble. Gabbi, Snowball survives. Sanities, FBZ, Makoto, they both fall to Gabbi. Tide will get Febby, but Drew is caught. Primal Roar used on his Shadow Shaman. Drew trying to get away, but it's not gonna happen. Triple kill for Gabbi, and make it a 4th as KP takes out High.
That was such a good arrow from teams from behind, lands on the
Radiant's
Storm
middle
Spirit,
tower is under
and they
attack.
get 4 kills for that. Still a very, very good trade. Something that OD needs to be careful about, jumping in and using that Astral defensively, as I already mentioned. You don't have a defensive tool for yourself, so you can't afford to do that. Once you get a BKB, you can also do it.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
So this is just going all TnC's way right now. And maybe there's something to say about how game 1 was just mentally exhausting.
Yeah, it definitely affected them. It was their game to lose, jump on the top lane, Rana, an easy pickup.
Orchid burn will do it. Makoto gets the kill. That's something we were expecting more of from him. Primal Roar on cooldown for another 33 seconds. They will head up towards the top. Spot him for a moment, but mana to get all the way to the field.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Just to leave. Not getting the down. Not too trusting.
Radiant's top tower
Very
is under
unreliable.
attack.
Snowball on the
Dire's
TP.
middle tower is under attack.
TesQ will have his TP stop. Maybe just messing with him, avoids the stun. Medallion with the Walrus
Radiant's
Punch.
top tower has fallen.
Now just trying to D-ward before he dies. Does get an obs, but eventually goes down to Armel.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Your future is
Rana had forced that one up, but they're going into dual scepter, which is like a Storm Spirit. It's such a great setup for the arrow.
Dire are scanning.
Ripped apart by the bear that is Gabbi.
There's a big difference. 2 carries. One is 5,000 gold ahead of the other.
Yeah. It is a lot of gold to be working with. And, you know, we usually talk about how Drew's had good laning phases, but not here. It seems almost strictly
Every
held
single
to him
time
playing
I've
troll.
seen
Dire's
him
middle
play
tower is under
from
attack.
behind, I've just lose the game every single time.
See? They're coming up onto the high ground, into the triangle. They're thinking about it at least. They've got the Moonlight Shadow, Gabbi moving forward. The rest of Boom will leave, but how far will they get? Arrow? No, nowhere near the marker.
Not this time. They killed Roshan pretty early, which means the second will spawn quite fast. With the first Roshan, you don't necessarily need to go for the high ground push, just build up the advantage. With the second Rosh, Cheese, and Aegis, that means you can go for the high ground, especially if they misuse one of the ultis, either Shadow Shaman or Ravage, then you're
Radiant's
good to go.
top tower is under attack.
Picked up for the OD of Armel, so he's got that to work with now. Both BKBs on the Ursa and the OD. Putting pressure on the top tier 2, just trying to get rid of these outer towers as best they can. Gabbi trails mid for a second. This will be the last outer tower for them to grab. just be a moment longer. Kescute, he's in the jungle on the opposite side, trying to get towards a Blink Dagger, farming the jungle.
He's doing a very good job. It's just that instead of just being inside the base, trying to make stuff happen, get some farm going, plants a deep ward. But this is something that you can always do something. Smoke up, get outside of your base, and try to get some farm, possibly cut the waves. It's easier for Nyx Assassin because he has Vendetta, so bypass the enemies without them seeing him.
Here. Not sure what he wants to accomplish in that tree, but eventually we'll just TP away. Still just Kescute deep inside the jungle.
Regeneration.
Battle Fury Axe. So Monkey King, a okay amount of farm. The question is going to change anything? Arrow comes through, right clicks in, FBZ on the run. Pops the Ghost Scepter, but they've got the Astral Imprisonment with the Sanities and puts right on top of this Tide. Armel will grab another.
Armel did not want to risk anything, increased magic damage, because he used the Ghost Scepter. Don't want to give him an opportunity to blink out. Kescute being scouted. Let's see if he decides to go for the courier. Not gonna trade.
Gabbi finding Hyde and ripping through him again. They got the silence on the Ursa. Spot the BKB should be fine. Makoto actually taking a bulk of that damage. Need to be careful. You can get bashed once or twice. Maybe it's over for your life.
A long respawn time on Roshan, almost full 3 minutes. So we're gonna need to wait a bit until TnC probably kills it. Oh man, that damage from Ursa.
Catching Kescute and now beyond godlike. I don't know if you've ever seen a bear's paw. The nails, they can rip through a lot.
Radiant are scattered.
The exoskeleton of a Nyx Assassin is no exception.
Now, I watched the good bears. I watched Yogi Bear when I was younger, some documentaries, but they were not as large as you watched.
Planet Earth. Should we stick to good bear programming? We bear bears. That's always a good one. Done. Wukong's in an position balance strike as well as the silence. They've got the Ravager going after the Ursa, but they've got the Astro. BKB popped by Armel. Now Gabbi jumping in. They get the kill on the Hyde. He popped his own BKB. Goes Scepter from FBC. That's going to keep him comfortable for now, but there's the bash coming through on Makoto. He just gets away with a little bit of health. The Vortex, the water is punching.
Another good save. Blink is blink out.
Gabbi surviving, getting away from this one. Shards won't balk in. Kescute still has a chance, but it doesn't look like it. Gabbi will walk away from the Nyx Assassin, but the Nyx Assassin won't walk away from
There goes
TnC.
in. Man, this was unbearable to watch. Like such a good saves coming out from the OD. They just needed like 1 second to blow up Ursa. His BKB came off cooldown, then another good save from Febby. This is something I like. Having multiple saves, that's why I value Shadow Demon highly as a hero, and I believe this game is falling apart. They're not gonna go and finish the game right now, but you know, deal some chip damage. Next Roche will be available in 30 seconds. Looks pretty good for TnC right now.
Yeah, you know, Armel's coming over, trying to get that Astral Imprisonment. He says, bear with me for a second. And does finally get Gabbi out of harm's way. Yeah, that was really good, though. Armel popping the BKB to get into the Wukong's command, making sure that, you know, he's comfortable enough to put himself in a position where he can save them.
Apparently, they feel very comfortable going the Roche pit and taking a team fight. They know Ravage is on cooldown.
Yeah, you know, Roche up in just a second, so we'll see if he can get this Roche, get this next. I'm trying to think of another big pun. I got none.
You know, throw out an option, just change a couple of letters.
Orb of Destruction for the Monkey King. Mel. That X, and then, yeah, Kescute. He's been working on this blink, but he's barely made it.
Radiant's top tower is
I
under
just
attack.
thought about that one. But barely got it. It's fine. Kescute scouting things out. Wrong side of the map. Roshan respawned.
I am at your disposal.
Look at TnC. They're all pretty much over by the Roche pit. They're controlling that top left area of the map. They're in the Roche now. Ursa looking to take out the heart of Roshan. Going up against the pressure of Gabbi, the pressure that TnC comes with. Sometimes it's just a little bit unbearable for Boom.
I don't know.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Keeping track of it. So yeah, Roshan or TnC. Want to go high ground.
Dire's structures are fortified.
It's also coming in from behind. I'm not expecting that. So they get the kill there. They'll work on the tier 3. And this is just spelling trouble for Boom. And to spell trouble for Boom, it's B-E-A-R. That's what they're doing.
It does truly matter.
Get the Astro Imprisonment onto Tide, ball lightning in. Not really much of a deterrent, but it is a quick way clearer. Drew, though, he's caught, stunned up. Tims, get the kill on the Monkey King.
All over the place. How the bears catch fish? They use their bare hands.
Allies disappear.
So it feels like TnC are just standing in the river, grabbing fish, just mid-form.
Oh, what I missed? I'm over here.
So on cooldown, so can't stun him up. We'll start to take these racks, clearing these creeps.
Radiant's
Ursa doing a bare minimum here.
Radiant's
Going for the
has fallen.
range barracks. Not putting too much effort.
This is really tough for Boom. As it feels like
Radiant's
the
middle
story
tower
of
is under
Goldilocks and the Three Little
Radiant's
Bears.
middle
Or
tower
the Three
has
Bears.
fallen.
As this rack's too cold, this rack's too hot, and well, Nick's Assassin's too dead. As they'll try to jump in. Cute still dies, Ravages in. Makoto's taking a lot of damage. The batch is out. With the status resistance, there's no way that you can hold this bear any tighter. They're trying to give him a bear hug, but they just can't. BKB's been popped by Drew as well as Makoto. Sanity's dropped on FBZ. Hyde comes in, circle wards as well as the Hex. They will get the kill. Arrow in. It does hit on the Nyx Assassin, but they still lose Freddy.
I've seen this thing yesterday when Nigma played against OG. Kuro got stuck twice, and now Febby jumps in, tries to help out his teammate, doesn't succeed.
Take us.
They still have Aegis on Ursa. He picks up the region ring. I would not be surprised if they just... I mean, they're 2. If they were 3, they would probably try to go in.
It almost feels like Gabbi had those thoughts, though. Abyssal Arrow, right clicks. Maybe you make it out, just barely.
Gold and sweet.
So, photo. I'm a big fan of Axe. It's definitely tough for him right now. All he's got is Orchid, BKB, next item Axe. Like, it's been a really rough game for this Storm.
It's a tough one, you know. You're playing into BKB piercing ability, you're playing into like arrow setup, into Basher, full Abyssal on Ursa right now, so it's pretty
Double
tough.
damage.
Ursa with the double damage is
Dire are
cranberry
scanning.
sauce out of these here.
Cranberry. Right. Smoke coming in from TnC. That took me a moment. As, you know, they're going to try and mush him up here. Yeah, we'll see what they can do. They're not going to find anybody, though. They walk through the base. It's empty. A little bit surprising if you're TnC.
Ursa is in.
Abyssal. Kez cute. He's gone.
Much fight in you.
Onto the reed racks they go. Hex picked up by the OD. We'll see if it ends up being enough. They've got the glyph. KB's coming through. Drew's gone. Ghost Scepter pop by FBZ. Not looking likely he survives. Sanity's is in. they'll get the kill.
Radiant's middle
And,
barracks
well,
has fallen.
I
Nothing
believe
they can do.
this might be it. There's the buyback, but the
Radiant's
Tidehunter
bottom
still has the
tower is under
Ravage,
attack.
but it's looking rough. Aegis will be reclaimed in 10 seconds. Maybe they can time it correctly.
Jumping in, on a high, Ravage comes out, but the BKB's been popped. They've got the balance strike coming through from Drew. They'll finally get the kill on Febi. They look over at Gabbi, trying to run down as the Aegis expires. As, Gabbi trying to run away, looking like a barbarian.
Yeah. We're getting some word from production. Production actually helping us with these bunts. They're going to go in once again. Ursa jumps in, jumps out.
Yeah, Ursa being the lead here. He's being the torchbearer for the side of TnC. As they go to get this tier 3 and looking to finish this one off.
Radiant's bottom tower.
No Ravage,
is
no
fallen.
Snake. It's
Onto Drew, they'll get the kill on the Monkey King, dead for 108 seconds. The beginning of the end here is TnC have just been too overbearing for Boom Esports to really get anything done, as it doesn't look like this 30k plus lead will be going anywhere. Can he save? Yes, they can. They've got the BKBs are now moving forward. BKB popped by KP. They're looking over at Makoto, who's out of mana now. But they'll send Gabbi packing for the moment. Snowball comes through. Walrus punch in onto the Storm Spirit. They get the Kona Makoto. They look over at FBC inside the well, but he'll survive. It doesn't matter. They'll call GG. And TnC, well, they'll be the pallbearers to Boom Esports grade.